Backyard Battles.
Hello and welcome to BotBrawl. I'm Doug Ireland, and this is day 2 of the BotBrawl Backyard Battles. And we're going to take a quick peek at the brackets and give you an idea of how today's event is going to unfold. Up first, we have Common Brit and Ed. They're going to be taking each other on here in round 1. And Turbine and G-Force, the losers of those, will face each other down in the losers bracket, and then we'll see the winners face in the semifinals. Up first, we've got Common Brit in the red.
Ready?
Common Brit is ready.
White team.
And Ed is going to be in the white. Ed is a horizontal spinner.
2, 1.
Just off camera, Common Brit is a rebuilding of Andrea Valenzuela's Speed Wedge 1 and being driven by our own Liam Haddock here today. Ed has been rebuilt by Andrea as well, I believe. Andrea and co. In the pits. We can see the two jostling for position now. A couple big sparks coming off that wedge. No real big impacts yet. Let's see if we can get something. That was a nice little shot there from Ed. Getting a bite on that wedge from Common Brit. Common Brit doing a good job of trying to get around the sides of Ed. Trying to avoid that big weapon and smash it into the arena edges, just about like we saw there. And it looks like Ed may actually be lacking drive on one of the two wheels, as that blade will come to a stop for at least a second here. Common Brit doing a good job. Ed maintaining control. Big smash there from Common Brit into the side wall. And Ed is really struggling with only one drive wheel. But you have a working weapon as a horizontal spinner. You're always still in it. You can kind of crab walk your way around. We're seeing that now. More bits and pieces coming off of Common Brit. But the driving here is all Common Brit so far. That being said, definitely some shots getting off from Ed here and there. We'll have to see just how chewed up those wheels and wedge are. One good shot. And Ed might be doing the thing. Okay, Common Brit's going to knock Ed loose. And there goes the belt. Ed has lost the drive belt on that weapon, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be all Common Brit now for the rest of this match. Just over a minute remaining here. And we're likely going to go the distance between these two robots. Now, can Ed stay moving and get to the end of the match and maybe try and force a judge's decision? Is it going to matter? I don't think it will. This is looking pretty decisively in favor of Common Brit. And we are running out of time here in this one, and as I said before, this is going to be all Common Brit with another slam there into Ed. And another good shot.
3, 2.
This one's going to the judges, but they are not going to have their work cut out too hard in this one, as this one should pretty decisively go to Common Brit. And as a matter of fact, as we go to the judge's decision, we do in fact see that this one is going to Common Brit. Ed is going to go down to the losers bracket. Up next, Turbine is going to take on G-Force. G-Force in the red square, Turbine in the white.
Red team, are you ready?
G-Force is ready.
White team, are you ready?
Turbine is ready.
2, 1.
Fight robots, fight. Both of these robots have horizontal spinning blades. Actually, pardon me, it looks like our titles may have been backwards there. G-Force is the white robot. Turbine is the wider robot with the larger blade on it. After that huge impact, there's bits and pieces lying around the arena, and that has to be the drive pulley and drive belt on Turbine's weapon. It's come to a stop. We can see only one drive wheel working, and G-Force is going to be able to go to work here. A big shot there sends Turbine careening around the arena, and that's going to be a tap out. And this one is going to G-Force. So robots are given the option to tap out in these matches, guys. And it looks like Turbine has taken that. Great showing here from G-Force. That horizontal blade is looking stronger than ever this time around. So Common Brit and G-Force will face off in the winner's semifinal, but we're going to have Ed and Turbine in an elimination game down in the loser's bracket. Winner will move on to face the loser of the winner's semifinal. So we're going to have Ed take on Turbine. Right now, both these robots had quite a bit of repair work done
Red
between
team,
matches.
Are you ready?
Turbine is ready.
White team, are you ready?
Ed, looking a little beat up.
3,
Also ready.
2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight. And Ed might be having some issues getting spun up. Turbine probably has the more resilient blade of the two. Also much closer to the ground. Although there's not a lot of Ed along the ground that could potentially cause damage. There's a fresh belt on Ed's weapon, so it might not be doing as much damage. You can see that orange belt, not the typical black belt we've seen so many times before. And we see some bits coming off. A big shot there from Turbine. Sends the wheel from Ed flying around. Ed knows this is an elimination game. Isn't going to tap out. Going to take everything that it can. Turbine getting underneath, chewing away at whatever is underneath Ed's belly there. I think I saw some screw heads go flying. Somehow Ed's weapon is still functioning. That polyurethane belt getting the job done. But I don't know if Ed's going to be able to get out of that corner. Maybe Turbine will come around for another shot. I'm not so sure. Probably thinking about the next fight. Ed being counted out. And that is a knockout in favor of Turbine. That was a valiant effort from Ed, which was basically a cobbled together batch of parts. Ed remains without a win in competitive play here at BotBrawl and will be eliminated from this one. Common Brit and G-Force are up next. The loser will face the winner of the previous match we just saw. Winner goes on to the finals.
Red team, are you ready?
Common Brit in the red corner
White
is
team,
ready.
Are you ready?
G-Force in the white corner
3,
is ready.
2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight! And this is a really good matchup for the Common Brit with that wedge on the front. Going to be really capable of taking out a horizontal spinner like we see here in G-Force. So G-Force has its work cut out for it. Going to have to try and get around the sides of that big tool steel wedge that's on the front of Common Brit. And G-Force is so far being pushed around the arena, getting shots in here and there. Certainly a formidable robot. There is a lot of force. This might be the strongest that I've seen G-Force in any of the BotBrawl competitions, period. As it's looking quite formidable these days. Sparks coming off that wedge as it careens G-Force around the arena. I would say a lot of control being exerted here by Common Brit so far. G-Force is going to be looking for a big shot. Something to knock something loose inside of Common Brit. Definitely doesn't want to be hitting those arena walls. That's a big shot there. Both robots go flying. Chips and bits coming out of G-Force. G-Force might have come off the worst out of that exchange, as it seems to be struggling with drive on one side. One of the very few times I've seen Common Brit, aka Speed Wedge, struggling in a competition after taking an impact. And there's definitely some binding on one of those wheels on Common Brit. Significant damage being caused by G-Force. Another big shot. And it's gonna. This is looking more and more like G-Force's match here. A reminder: the winner of this going on to the finals, loser going down to the semifinals in the losers bracket. And yeah, this is looking really bad here for Common Brit, who can only drive in circles. We might be seconds away from a call for a knockout or a call for a count from the judges here. And Common Brit is going to tap out. This one is going to G-Force. So G-Force managing to send the Common Brit enough times around the arena, bashing it with that large blade. G-Force is moving on to the finals. Now we're going to have Common Brit and Turbine, losers eliminated. Winner will go on to face G-Force for the finals in this week's BotBrawl
White team,
Backyard Battles.
are you ready?
Both robots are
3,
ready. Common Brit on the right, Turbine
1.
on the left.
Brawl.
Fight, robots, fight! So both of these robots having gone through some extensive repairs after their previous fights. A big shot from Turbine going careening up the walls. You could argue that was from Common Brit on Turbine, as Turbine was the one that took the brunt of that impact. And Common Brit's now upside down. You don't want to be upside down against the horizontal spinner. There's lots of exposed internals there. Much easier to rip that wedge off with that horizontal spinner. Harder to get underneath. Another big shot there from Turbine. Turbine is looking really mean here. And the Campbells, Garrett and Jennifer, have just done such a good job with this robot in Turbine. More shots there. A big push from Common Brit. That's the most aggression and control we've seen from Common Brit this fight so far, I'd say. Uh-oh. Although I might have spoke too soon. Turbine seems to be struggling with the drive a little bit. That weapon is still working, though. Gonna make, and the shape of the robot makes it really difficult for Common Brit to approach, especially because Common Brit still upside down. A good shove there from Common Brit, trying to get Turbine to waste that energy into the sidewalls instead of itself. Turbine really, really struggling now. Weapon making funny noises, but still spinning. Oh! And that was a lot of foam coming off of those tires on Common Brit. Now that's thick foam, so it's not the end of the world for Common Brit at this point, but definitely don't want to do that too many times. It's a blade of armor in the sense that it's not infinite. It's gonna you don't have an infinite amount of wheels. You don't want to be. Oh, good shot there from Common Brit. You don't want to run out of that. And we might be seeing a call for control here from the judges, as Turbine has been stuck in that corner for quite a bit now. And I'm not sure what's happening here. We do have a countdown coming in. It's looking like this one might go to Common Brit. And that is going to be a knockout for Common Brit. Common Brit is going to take this one. Turbine has been eliminated, but after an excellent showing and some serious destructive capabilities on display here today from Turbine and the Campbells. So our very own Liam Haddock has managed to steer Andrea Valenzuela's Speed Wedge 1 all the way to the finals. It's Common Brit. It's Common Brit. It's supposed to be Speed Wedge 1, but it's Common Brit today at least, driven by Liam Haddock for sure. So this is going to be the grand finals of today's event. The winner will move on to our overall grand finals.
Red team, are you
In the
ready?
red, Common Brit is ready.
White team, are you
In the white,
ready?
G-Force is ready.
3,
3, 2, 1. Fight, robots, fight. So G-Force has shown a considerable amount of force today in its fights against its opponents. Common Brit has been driven more than adequately by Liam Haddock and is a very formidable robot. It's designed with modularity and repairability in mind, which is why it looks so fresh after its previous fight against Turbine. And both robots are looking for the perfect position here on the opposite, being a little tentative here. This is the grand final for today. Winner going on once again to that grand finals of the overall event in a week or two. G-Force's blade can do quite a bit of damage when it's up to speed. And there's evidence of that. You saw both robots going flying. Common Brit's upside down again. This is good for G-Force. But is G-Force maybe having issues with one side of its drive? It's not looking as... Okay. It's looking a little herky-jerky here, but... Oh, another big shot. And that's a classic tombstone maneuver. Show them the back and then spin into them. Ray Billings would be proud. G-Force being driven really solidly here. A big part of the driving with horizontals is trying to keep in mind which way you're going to go careening, yourself and the opponent, and try not to send yourself into the walls after a big hit. It can be a little difficult to keep track, especially if your robot's getting flipped upside down all the time, which tends to happen a bit more in these lower weight categories, but right now it's looking like Common Brit has the upper hand here. G-Force is struggling to keep those drive wheels spinning and keep showing controlled motion. A good hit there, although that was more on by Common Brit on G-Force, using G-Force's momentum against it. And Common Brit's doing a really good job staying on top of G-Force here. G-Force getting spun up quickly. Another good shot to the side of Common Brit. But without that forward momentum from those two working drive wheels, G-Force certainly struggling here. And honestly, this is looking all Common Brit right now. And Liam Haddock's doing a really good job with picking his spots. He's oversteering a little bit, getting used to that the really quick drivetrain on Common Brit still here in day one of his time driving. Uh-oh. And his speed wedge is Common Brit dead. That was a big hit. You can see that side rails all bent up on Common Brit. We are going to have a reset, it looks like, as both robots appear to have been high-centered, and we're going to see which one can move. This might be going to a judge's decision. And I'd say Common Brit is barely showing controlled motion. G-Force doing a better job of that. And this will, in fact, go to the judges. And I would not want to be a judge in this case, although I am, so that's great. Let's go. Let's figure out which one of these robots is going to take it. We do have your judge's decision. Your winner is Common Brit. So Common Brit is going to take this one home and move on to the next competition. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Doug Ireland. This has been BotBrawl. I want to thank everybody who has been helping us out here this week, and we'll see you on the next one.